big warm welcome to Rick's Scale Model Fix and another kit review. This time we're going to be looking at Italeri's brand new F35B Lightning II in 48 scale. So looking at the box top, we've got some quite adequate box art there, digitally generated, of a Lightning on the aircraft carrier deck. So without further ado, let's do the box top tour. So on the box side you've got some CAD renders there of the model, and also including the photo etched set. Got multilingual description about what the aircraft type is and what it does. On the opposite side there we have the marking options included in the kit, so there's 5 there shown. Picture of the decal sheet and some of the basic information. Your kit number for this one is 2810. This is another huge box, and it's quite deep, and it's on an A2 cutting mat, and it's 43 centimeters in length. So lifting the lid, and we're greeted with the contents. I've already opened this to have a look. So we've got some literature and the decal sheet, which we'll have a look at next. Plastic parts, so we've got fuselage top and bottom, cockpit, photo etch sheet, and a further 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sprues. So we'll come to the plastic parts in a second. Looking at the instruction book, it looks to be black and white printed. We've got some multilingual information on the front page. Turning over, we have parts map. So we have the A sprue and B sprue, which are the fuselage top and bottom. Then we have a further 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sprues and the photo etch detail set. Construction begins at the bottom of page 3, and it sees the assembly of the ejector seat and the photo etched harness being added, cockpit tub, some rear bulkhead details and a painting diagram. So with this being a modern aircraft, there's not going to be much in the way of detail there. It's all touchscreen displays, etc. So decal provided for the instrument panel, ejector seat and instrument panel being added to the cockpit tub. Once it's done, that's flipped over and added to the inside of the fuselage top section. We've got a piece of photo etch to go behind the ejector seat, and we've got the hinges for the canopy. Wings separate coming in to the upper surface of the fuselage, and that looks to be quite a nice way of joining those wings there by Italeri, and some other bits and pieces around the rear end. Stage 3 sees the twin tails added. Stage 4, if you want to put pylons and everything on your model, then you need to open the flashed over holes in the lower wing surfaces. Then a nice little diagram showing where to remove or open all the holes for the lower fuselage section. That's going to be quite flimsy, so it's got some plastic sprues, gates that are going to keep it strength and rigidity until it's added to the model. Centre section of the under surface of the fuselage there being added as well to add a little bit more strength, and also it builds up the weapons bays there. Page 6, stage 6 sees the construction of the nose gear bay, and that looks to be quite well detailed. Coming together, main gear bays, some interesting bomb bay work and pylons and plumbing. That's all then joined into the lower surface of the fuselage, and completion there in stage 10 at the bottom of page 7. So you've got the main gear bay, the 2 weapons bays, and the main landing gear, the nose gear bay there going in. Then it's on to engine construction. So stage 11, we've got the lift fan and the main engine all coming together in a very, very similar fashion to the Hasegawa 72nd scale kit, and indeed the Italeri 72nd scale F35, which I've built previously. Construction sees some of the bulkheads being added to the rear of the airframe before the two fuselage sections are joined together in stage 12 on page 9. Lower wing sections added, and there's some of the other smaller details including the nose cone, tail end, and it's interesting to note that we do have positionable flaps and leading edge slats, again repeated port and starboard. Then it's on to weapons. We've got AIM 120s, AIM 9X, GBU 12s, GBU 31s and a gun pod. Then we see construction of the engine, so you can have it in various poses, so just follow the version that you want to build. So we've got the closed version here depicted, the undercarriage doors being placed, bomb bay doors being closed up, and then we have the vertical landing configuration with the kinked section for the exhaust, and that being depicted there. And also we have the open bomb bays with some of the weapon fit. That's repeated again for the AIM 120s on the inside of the bay doors. Nice little diagram insert there showing where everything goes. Continues again on the other side with the other parts of the bomb bay doors, etc. Carries on with the vertical landing configuration, and you've got all the gear doors to go on, and it's just saying that you need to cut the hinges off for certain variants the way you want to depict it, so just keep an eye on what your instructions are calling out there for you as you progress through your build. Stage 28, and we still see gear bay doors, and then it's onto the wheels and tyres in stage 29, which do look to have flat spots added. Stage 30 sees the addition of the wing pylons if you want it in beast mode, and the weapons going on there as well. Finishing off the build, we've got crew access ladder open or closed, canopy which can be posed open or closed, and the lift fan doors being shown open or closed. So just depict which one you want and go through. And then we've got a nice little bonus, or a nice little inclusion there. We've actually got a weapons trolley, so if you didn't want to show your F-35 all opened up with the pylons on, you could put the weapons on the trolleys next to it. And that completes the build. So first impressions, it doesn't look to be too complicated. It looks to mirror their 72nd scale kit considerably, hopefully with a bit more detail. Italeri include a second booklet in the kit, which is the painting and decals guide, and it says it has decals for 5 versions. Opening the cover, we've got some decent sized paint diagrams showing where all the stencil markings go, and we've got some colour call outs which I think are actually incorrect. So it's saying that it's 36375 for the lighter areas and 36270 for the overall camouflage. And as far as I'm aware, the F-35 uses FS 36170, which is available in an MRP colour, which is MRP 280, and then to get that have glass sparkling metallic effect you can use MRP 278, which is the special varnish, and I use these with some success on the 72nd scale kit. So some nice colour profiles of the upper and lower surfaces, and that's the, looking at that, that's the stenciling data, and then we move on to the individual aircraft themselves. So we've got a ZM151 of RAF 207 OCU, RAF Marham UK 2019. And we have ZM 145 617 Squadron, a Marham again 2019, and that's going to be the option that I do, so that'll no doubt please one of our followers. Option C is United States Marine Corps MCAS Beaufort 2018, and we have the Marine Corps VMFA 225 Yuma Arizona 2021, and then we've got an Italian Navy one as well, which is quite an attractive scheme looking at that. Weaponry is catered for with separate colour callouts and decal placement guide. The decal sheet is medium sized, it's well printed by Cartograph, there's not much more to say. Italeri kits, decals are usually absolutely superb and they'll be a pleasure to use. So having had a look through the instruction books and the decal sheets etc, it's time to focus on the plastic. And the first thing that's noticeable is the dark coloured plastic, and it's actually quite a firm, solid plastic, which is nice. Now the first question on everybody's mind is going to be, how have Italeri depicted the RAM edging and the RAM panels and tapes? So yes, they are raised, but they're nowhere near as raised as in their 72nd scale kit. That's going to keep somebody very, very busy for a number of evenings masking all those off. But just be aware that some of the more modern airframes, the tape is a very similar colour to the fuselage now, so you didn't get that sort of contrast between the RAM tape and the top camouflage colours that you did on the earlier machines. Ed Arden will no doubt bring a mask set out for this. They certainly got one available for the 72nd scale Hasegawa kit and the Italeri kit as well. Fit of the two sections, just quickly, is promising. It is quite a good fit and clicks together really well. And this is all that plastic scaffolding that we saw being needed to be removed in the instruction books in the build process. So that just keeps this centre section of the lower fuselage quite sturdy and stops it from getting damaged in transit. There's a couple of clear sprues in the kit. One's clear, so we've got things like the landing lights and position lights there, and then the other one is actually tinted. Got a slight tint to it, same as the 72nd scale kit. When it's on, it's not that noticeable and it is quite a nice effect. It's perfectly moulded and should be easy to mask as it's all straight edges. Italeri also include a small etch fret. It's got what looks to be canopy rails, bulkhead and some harnesses included. Turning our attention to some of the main sprues here, and I think this is sprue G, and straight away I can see quite a lot of sink marks, which is disappointing. So these are we're gonna have to get some primer on these just to see just how bad those are, but they're going to need some corrective work. So we've got it there on the lift fan door and on the side weapons bay doors as well, and that just corresponds to the recesses for the hinges underneath. So we'll shoot some primer over those just to check just how bad they actually look. Moulding wise, the cockpit tub is what we'd expect for a very modern aircraft. There's not a lot of detail there. There's the touch screens. Generally the detail is really quite nice. It's just a shame about those sink marks, but nothing major, nothing that can't be corrected. Turning our attention to sprue C, and thankfully can't see any sink marks jumping out at me here. So this deals with the wings. No riveting detail as expected with the composite construction of this aircraft. Nice clean sprue there. So this is Sprue E, and it contains the engine and some of the internal structures, along with the landing gear, the nose and the ejector seat. Some of the framing on the ejector seat is quite nice. Detail there for the engine's good. Again, no evidence of any sink marks jumping out this time. And there's the ejector seat cushions, so that's not too bad. Some sidewall detail for the nose gear bay roof. Nice details there on the main gear bays. Quite delicately moulded undercarriage parts there as well, and there's the crew access ladder just in the top left hand corner. There's 2 Sprue Ks in the kit, and this caters for the weapons, pylons, wheels, hinges and a whole plethora of other details. Again, thankfully there's no sign of any sink marks, and the weapons look quite usable. So there we have Italeri's brand new F35B Lightning II in 48 scale. It's going to be the go-to kit in the scale. It looks to be certainly adequately detailed and a good stepping off point if you want to add any more details yourself. Certainly going to be better than the Kitty Hawk kit and the old Panda models kit. Bit disappointed to see sink marks on that main sprue, but we'll reserve final judgment on those until we've got some primer over the plastic. They might not be as bad as first seen. Just be mindful of the incorrect colour call outs, and let's hope that those decals don't look too bad on the correct colour scheme. There are alternative aftermarket decal options available from the likes of Caracal and some of the others, so it may not be the end of the world. At £75 UK retail price, it's certainly an expensive kit for what is in the box. Still a fair bit of plastic in there, and it's a comparable price to the Airfix Buccaneer, but unfortunately it just doesn't carry the same amount of detail as that Airfix kit. Nonetheless, it's going to be a very important lineup for anybody who has an interest in modern aircraft, or certainly perhaps RAF modern aircraft. I'll certainly be building it in the 617 squadron markings and adding that to my collection of 48 scale British airframes. Overall, I think it's going to be highly recommended. Have a look around, see if you can get it a little bit cheaper, better value for money. I think I picked this one up at Jadelam, so big shout to those. Service was absolutely fantastic, and a substantial saving off retail as well. So overall, highly recommended. So that's it from me. So until next time, please look after yourselves, stay well and take care.